For me, what it means is leaving the other person more than what he or she was expecting to begin with, whether it's our employees, customers, stakeholders, or even the support staff. Anyone who we interact with, leaving that person with more than what they were expecting.
So creating abundance means for me when you start thinking about others before you. When we start thinking about others, we can have immense amount of compassion towards them, and then if we are able to connect them to who they are and what they want to do in life, that's creating abundance for me. Whether it's employees or stakeholders or anyone in this matter.
So I am a technocrat and I love technology a lot. For me, if you see, creating abundance is in whatever way I am good at. How can I see that I can have less of scarcity around with whatever I am good at? So I try to use in whatever capability I have. How can I start impacting lives around me so that this kind of a mindset is not there at all? So in whatever way I can contribute, I do that so that we have this mindset of abundance everywhere.
So leaving the other person with a possibility of there's more out there, and just keep exploring, and just being there in that process with that person is creating abundance for me.
So for me, when it comes to employees, what it means for me is if I can help them to grow to the next level, in whatever they want to achieve in life, I think that's for me is creating abundance for them. And when it comes to customers, if I can help them to whatever they want to do in terms of their business, if I can help them to achieve whatever they need to achieve in their business, that's what it is for me when it comes to creating abundance for customers.
Got it, Rakesh. So I think if you think there is enough in this world, and yet we feel there is a very limited in this world. Human beings have a mindset there is not enough. There's plenty of food on this planet, everything. Like there is plenty of money. People talk about money all the time. So creating abundance, what it means for us is making sure no one feel that they have a limited resources. Whatever they would like to achieve, it's up to them what they want to achieve, and it starts with me first. Do I feel sense of abundance around me? Do I feel abundance around this team? Do I feel abundance around in our company? So the circle can be expanded to any granularity level, but it's a mindset. Where people have enough and they feel that they don't need to worry about for tomorrow with regards to resources they need to live the life they love and live it fully. So that's what that means for me. But can I be a source of that mental peace for human beings? Can I be the source of that inspiration for human beings? Can I be the source of a creator or a leader for that mental peace for human beings? I think that's what it means for creating abundance. How can I really help people to see there's a plenty here and they don't need to worry? Okay, that's what it means for me.
I did not even know that it is possible. So once I remember when Jeet shared that creating abundance for everyone we touch should be our mission statement, and then we discussed as a group in a meeting, and that is only then I got present to that it is possible. My approach was mostly that as long as I'm making sure I'm not creating a problem for others, it is enough. So I never even realized that I can create abundance for others. So now that showed me that what is possible, and it is possible, and that's why I want to do.
Thank you, sir. So, I was not sure about this terminology earlier. I used to think a lot, how can I contribute in other people's life? But in my intentions, I always used to think that. And when I was not doing it, I was not at peace. So for me, creating abundance helps me to get my peace and happiness. Creating that win-win where other people get what they are looking for. When other people get abundance, when they don't need to worry about the thing which they don't have. It gives me immense amount of peace and happiness. That's the only reason I want to create.
Thanks. So, for me, if you see my my whole background, when I started working, and even before that, when I was in school, the way I used to relate with all my close ones and my friends and my peers later on, and my superiors, managers, everyone, the kind of relation which I used to experience was very different, in the sense that I never felt like togetherness in that kind of a relation. So for me, it was a kind of a very foreign thing that something like that can also exist. When I started working at In Time Tech, I got present to it for the first time, that these kind of things even exist, that you can create that kind of a world. In this world, initially, it was for me like, as I said, it was very different for me. So it took me some time to even understand that what it really means to be abundant. And then I started talking with people around me, all the leaders and all the people, and I started feeling this is the way to live. This is the way to do anything what you want to do, because the life is a journey here. It's not just what you want to achieve, and living a life which is this kind of a journey by creating abundance around and living in this way is a very profound way, is what I realized. And I don't even know when it happened that I became part of this, and it started happening within myself. I don't even know how and when it happened, but it became the source inside me to do it.
Why do I want to create abundance? Why not? So for me, before I joined In Time Tech, the way how I used to operate is that everybody's out there to get me, so I need to watch my back. And I think, looking back now, the first time I truly got a glimpse of what abundance mean, at that time I didn't know, is when I watched what Jeet did in HP. And I got naturally, pulled into that. And now when I look back, I can connect the dots and see that's what it is. So I say, why not? I was sitting there in the courtyard, and I was just looking at it. It is just only 4 months ago that we were here with 30 people, and now we are with 100 plus people. And that's truly abundance, and it is possible, and it can be possible, and much more is possible. So why not? Is where I come from.
Thank you. So when you first had asked that question, Raghavendra, honestly, just tell you, my mind went completely blank. I have no idea what I'm doing. But when I dig deep, what I realize is that I really want this world to be a happy and peaceful place to live in for people around me. I think that's what I'm doing.
Got it totally. I don't know any other way to live. Really. Money is important, and you need to live on this planet. You need shelter, you need food, you need clothes, you need some of those basic needs, basic ingredients which fulfill your needs. I was looking for a word called basic elements. But then once those are there, then why are you here? And I asked that question because I was not asked when my mom and dad chose to bring me on this planet. They didn't ask me, and I'm I'm not going to go out of this planet because of my choice either. So creating abundance, what's in it for me, why it is important, I don't know any other way to live. Morning to evening, I simply ask a question. If this is not the way to live, then what else is the way to live? If somebody can show me, if someone can show me any other way, I might do that also too. But I have not found any other way. Peace, happiness, containment. We talked about some of those aspects of living life. But this is what it gives me, that and more. It feels really good. It feels really awesome. Every day morning you get up and you feel like, wow, life is profound. There is no incompletions. There is no worries, concerns, fear. You're just there. And it fits in. It's like a piece of the puzzle. And without that piece, the picture is not complete. It feels that way. When I look at it in the morning, I feel that way. So that's what it's for me.
I look at what it is, when I start with something, I look at what it is currently, and when I complete that, whether it is talking to someone, whether it's working on something, and when I complete it, then I ask myself what got done, and the difference between the two, I ask it is, was it exactly what was needed, or was it more than what was needed? In a conversation with a person, if I feel that the person really got more than what he or she started with, came to me for, or when I complete the project, if I feel that the customer felt that they got more than what they initially started, then that is how I measure abundance.
I echo with Sunil what said. I don't have many things about to say. When I talk to people, what I see abundance is a mindset. So the only way I can create it to talk to them, and then just to find that missing piece which they are not able to see. It's inside only. It's not outside. So it's very hard to create abundance from outside factor. Definitely we can have business, money, that is helpful. But honestly, even with that, many people don't feel having abundance. Most of the time it comes from inside. So when I talk to people, I see if I can connect them with those missing pieces, and they start feeling that. But Sunil highlighted, if they feel after talking to me that they find that, that's the way I create abundance.
So, how I create abundance? For me, it's just like I want to be who I am in day-to-day basis. If I start doing it, it happens. For me, it's not just like Sandeep has shared and Sunil has shared. It's a mindset, and if I start living like that, it happens automatically. Is what I realize. Like, again, I'm relating this with my past, how it did not used to happen earlier, and I see it now, how it happens, and I don't have to do anything intentionally from my side to create abundance. It just happens. It happens in the way I interact with people, no matter who that person is, even if that person is just a car cleaner for me or whoever I meet in various places. It starts happening that way. The kind of traits I have seen, which has happened to me, which was not there too much earlier, is how do you start behaving in a very humble way with people? How do you start looking from their perspectives, being in their shoes? And as I said, these kind of things happens for me. I don't have to do anything for it.
Okay. putting other person first, in spite of whatever might be going on in my mind, irrespective of that, doing what is needed. And then I keep looking, I keep learning to see what needs to get done more. So overall, if I see how do I create abundance, is just by doing what is needed.
Yeah, for me, I think more or less the same thing, but it's just by doing the damn work. Whether it's about getting the projects done, whether it's about doing the architecture or design, whether about people's growth, right? Having a conversation with them, understanding where they are, defining where they need to go, looking at what customer needs, ensuring their deliveries are happening the way it's happening. So it's all just about you being the source of whatever need to be created, and you create it. And that's what I see. That's how I'm creating abundance.
Yeah. I'm fully gardened by what each one of you are sharing, really, because I experienced that. I experienced that on a moment by moment basis. So for me, I think the creating abundance, the how part is where the magic happens. Truly. Because you can talk all the time. You can talk all day long. You can talk as much as you want. But how is where rubber hit the road. So it starts from, for me, am I being present? So how I create? I have immense commitment as if my life depends on it, to be present in every moment. So why I'm present into every moment? I'm truly looking at it, is there is abundance here. So any system, computer system, if you look at it, there is input, there is a processor, there is output. So I'm there. So I look at what's the input here. Whether it's a small meeting, large gathering, whether it's product development, whether it's a services business, whether it's a community event, whatever we do, I am there, then and there, and consuming the input, and then my processor kicks in, and it says, okay, are we in line or are we away? What the gap, what the delta is, and whatever the delta is, my processor look at it, okay, what needs to happen, and then there is output. Is there abundance here? And if it is not, that's another input for me, and then I'm keep looking for the processor. So it's a control system, and in order for me to act and behave and operate as a control system, I need to be in the moment, and then I need to enhance this controller system. Do I have right kind of skills and tools? So that's one of being in the moment, but in the moment not only to create abundance, but looking at it, what skills and tools are missing that I need to develop. And so I go back into the locker room, if we use the sports analogy, and then look at it, what skills, what practice sessions I need to go through, and then develop those, and come back onto the court, and then keep playing the game. So that's how I create abundance. It's a fun process. It's really fun process. It keeps you consumed. The juices are flowing all the time. But there is so much out there to learn, and so much out there for human beings to experience creating abundance. It's never enough. It's a very profound way for me to start my day, finish my day, and then again start my day. So day in, day out. So that's how I create abundance.
I first let them experience that, and then talk to them and tell them that you become a source of it, because that's how I started with it to begin with. So I make sure others are going through the same process, whether it's any new person who joins the company or anything new we do, first I let them experience that. I tell them that this is what it is. Now you become the source of it. That is when the company's mission is actually being lived every day, when everyone is doing that one.
Thank you, Sunil. I think same way, like if we only do this work, I don't think as a company we are creating abundance then. And then this thought comes a lot nowadays in my mind that like it's not, and then in fact we are also not creating abundance if we are not enabling other people. So first definitely we work through them, as Sunil said, so that they feel abundance. When Jeet was sharing earlier, making sure that they are feeling abundance. Once they share, once they start feeling that, having a consistent conversation and a structure with them so that they start radiating it until it is a chain reaction, this abundance will not happen all around. So there's ongoing conversations with people, particularly people who are growing, who want to do, who are very willing to be a leader. Those are the people, and inside the office and outside the office, both the places, consistently talking and enabling, empowering them in the conversation so that they radiate. It's not going to happen until they are gotten by it. And then first we need to make sure I'm gotten by it, and then people who are doing it, they are gotten by it. That's the way, having an ongoing conversation, communication, and putting some structures around it. That's how I see enabling people.
So for me, I spent most of my time dealing with people on technical projects or technical forums or some meetings. Now when I interact with people in those technical discussions, although we talk about technology and that a lot, but what I feel is when you start sharing in that way, in that kind of a forum, it doesn't have to be just the technology. It is also about how do we enable using technology to start creating abundance. So that is what happens for me, whereby we start looking at everything in one view. What I mean by one view is, although we are talking about a problem in a scenario, or we're talking about one project in a scenario, but as a together we are a one team here which lives. So how do we look at whether it is my project or your project? So that kind of a feeling, how can I start leading by example in those forums, so that people who are looking up to me, they also start relating with that way and start practicing it wherever they go and start doing. So that is how I start. I enable people to start creating abundance for them and around them.
So Sunil, Sandeep, and Prashant pretty much covered in multiple dimensions of what I think. There is no secret recipe. Just walking the talk and taking people along, and in that process, there's a lot of learning happening around, and that's how I see how the abundance, creating abundance, is continued going forward.
So, if you really look at around, right, creating abundance or abundance as a word is an alien concept. Mostly people are surviving in this world. So it becomes difficult. It's hard to enable other people to do it because it's not natural to us as human beings. So so one of the ways which which I do mostly is I put my life into other people first, to really have them experience what I think Sandeep was sharing, is have them experience what really abundance really means for them. And then the next step is to really ask them a question. What do you see? What it would look like if you are able to create what I created for you around you? And that's how I see, how I am enabling others to create abundance. That's what it's about.
Very profound, honestly. I think these are the true examples of creating abundance here for them and them to others. I'm already seeing abundance when we are talking today. It's very emotional. I think before I even claim that I create abundance for others, first and foremost I do what does it mean to them. Like I can say, oh, let's create abundance, but that's for me. What does it mean to them? So I need to inquire about that. Because if they are not clear about that, then whatever I'm doing is a noise and nuisance for them. That's not abundance. So first, going to the discovery phase, going to the inquiry phase of what does it mean to you. And once they find it out, once they discover or realize both, sometimes they need to discover and you need to be there for them. And that itself is creating abundance for them. And if not, then helping them to realize that that's what the abundance is for you. And then taking a stand. Taking a stand for each one of them is that if that's what that abundance for you is, then let's do something about that. And I can come along. I can come along in whatever capacity you want me to come along. And by the way, it's not, we are talking today in the context of in-time tech, but that I do personally at home. My mom, my sisters, my son, my daughter, my wife. What does it mean to them? What is important to them? In fact, when I go on a train journey or a plane journey, people sitting next to me, I sometimes hire people. I've hired people from train, and next to me sitting people in a plane. Because the conversation becomes very quickly as an inquiry and putting yourself out in their life. And in that process they discover, oh wow, is that what I want to do? Is my life all about? And I just come along. As I said, at time as a coach, at a time as a player, at a time just shut up and sit back and let them do whatever it takes after that. So that's how I personally see. I'm enabling only because they want me to enable. And if they don't want, I'm out. There is no reason for me to be. But every human being I interact, I don't distinguish personally, and that's my commitment, that it's not about this versus that. It's a holistic view. And that's how the abundance gets created.
What do I feel? Nothing and everything. Nothing, because that doesn't make me any different or unique. I'm just another human being. And everything because I truly feel blessed, the kind of guidance and mentor and leadership that I got and watched and coached and learned, so that I can just be here and continue to make contribution. That's how I feel. And you're asking me about what does it mean for others, right? And it means truly what is possible, and what can happen and what will happen when I put somebody before me, everywhere, workplace, home, community, everywhere.
I want to say something, Vijaya. I think there's a reality. Diversity is a reality. I live in America, so I see that from that point of view also too. I think there are certain physical limitations, which is known. Being a female, it's different. But for a moment, if you can put that aside and accept that as a reality, you're very powerful. And I'm talking to every woman through Vijay you, that don't feel small or limited or constrained in any capacity. You are as powerful, if not more powerful, than any male. Because once you keep the physical aspect of it aside, show me in what way you are different. I don't see that. When Vijaya operates in our team, she's like furious and knows and certain things which we don't do right, and she challenge things in a way which is meaningful. So sometimes I don't even remember that she's female. Like for me, like I don't even see that. I was like, okay, Vijaya is here, like that. So
There's the boss.
yeah, she's like, okay, bring it on. And so powerful is someone, a human being, and I don't, because if you start relating to I'm a female, then it becomes challenging because you relate to yourself lesser or more, maybe one of those two, then you are out of the game. Feel the same and accept. Like I can share about my living on the US side. I have an accent over there, and it's a physical limitation. I can improve as much as I can. I'm a person of color there, and but I can put that aside. I'm like, okay, bring it on, buddy. I'm here. In many ways, people see me, oh my God, Jeet is here. Because I don't relate to myself limited in any capacity in any way. And I accepted my physical limitations as a possibility. So that's one thing which I want to say about that, Vijaya, as a diversity. And my call to action for all the women who might watch this video. You are absolutely, you have everything what you need to make the contribution and live the life that you love and expand this world in whatever capacity you want to expand. So go for it, okay? And if you want to come here and be part of this team, you are always welcome. I also want to thank all the audience and viewers who are going to watch this video, to spending time on this and watching. These are like, they're remarkable people, phenomenal human beings who have taken on something, and I appreciate each one of you. Sunil, Sandeep, Shant, Vijay and Rakesh. I think we are a mighty force. We are a mighty force because we got it, and we are going to live that way. Okay, so thank you very much for spending time with us, and we look forward to seeing you somewhere. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.